Good morning, adventure seekers. I just got ready for my next adventure. I will go to Formentera, which is meant to be one of the most beautiful islands of Spain. I will take a boat at the harbor at around 9:45. It will take about 40 minutes to get there, and then I will spend the whole day on the island. And of course, I'm going to take you with me. Alright, I just arrived at the harbor. I dropped off the car. There's a parking spot nearby, but I recommend you to come early because it was already quite full. And now we are getting on that boat behind me, and it'll take around 40 minutes to get to Formentera. I rented a bike so that I can get around the island a little bit better, and the bike comes with an additional cost of 10 euros, and the boat in general costs 25 euros per person. So it's 35 euros per person for the whole day in Formentera. And we have to bring our own food and drinks. And yeah, that's it. Let's go on the boat. It takes about 40 minutes to get to Formentera by boat. We left on time at 10 a.m. and started the trip to Formentera. 40 minutes later, we arrive on Formentera. At the harbor, you will find restaurants, some stores, and you will also find some hotels here in case you are planning to spend some more time on the island. Formentera is a small island, but that doesn't mean you can reach everything by foot. You can walk 1 hour to the most popular beach, which is also very beautiful, but I'd recommend you to at least get a bike to see a bit more of the island and not just to stay at the most popular beach, because that one will also be very crowded. Alright, I just arrived in Formentera and now it's time to pick up the bike, and then I will go to one of the beaches with the bike. Let's go. As you can see, there are lots of options here behind me. There are restaurants here, there are a lot of services for bike rentals and also for motorbike rentals, but I do recommend you to think about what you want to do here on the island before you come here, because they recommended us to make the reservation before we come here, because apparently it is cheaper to do it from Ibiza than to do it here. So I paid 10 euros per bike. A motorbike would be 25 euros, but here apparently it's 12 euros per bike if you want to rent it here, which is not that much more expensive. But anyway, think about your options, think about what you want to do here on the island. Yeah, I recommend you to book everything on Ibiza. You don't have to book it with a lot of time ahead. You can book it before getting on the ferry, so think about it. Our rental place was on the harbor and therefore only a couple of minutes walking distance from the boat. And then we already left the harbor and went on the bike tour to the beach secluded. It took us about 20 minutes to get to that beach. Along the way we were already able to see the beauty of the surrounding nature that was awaiting us on that beach. Alright, I just dropped off the bike. This is where I will spend a few hours now. I will try to go up further north this way. The only way to get there is by walking, and as you can see here in the background, this is the first beach. It looks beautiful, the water is crystal clear. It's already quite crowded, although it is still quite early. But as I said, I will check out the area behind me a little bit more and let's see how it is up there. This very first beach was already mesmerizing, but as I said, also quite crowded. And it was only 11 a.m. Most people stay there because it is beautiful and there's a restaurant and bathrooms nearby, and the people who have been walking all that way are probably already super tired and don't really feel like walking even further. Also, this is the furthest you can get with your bike or motorbike. Alright, there are plenty of spaces to drop off your moto or your bikes as well, and then you have to continue all the way to get to the most northern point. There's a way here, and that's what I'm going to take now. This is where you will have to leave your bike or moto, and the rest of the walk will be on the sand along the beach, so you have to keep walking if you want to go further up north. I highly recommend you to keep walking at least for a while. How far you want to go totally depends on how motivated you are, but definitely keep walking. There are a lot of beaches along the way till the end, and obviously the further you go, the less crowded and more enjoyable they get. And they all have that crystal clear water and beautiful white sand. I was surprised that so many people stayed at the first beach, when the beaches that still weren't too far away were just as beautiful but almost empty. Along the whole walk we came across beaches that were just amazing and there was hardly anybody. If you keep going up north, you should definitely know that there won't be a restaurant or anything like that. My goal was to get all the way to the end of the beach. It takes around 40 to 45 minutes without any breaks to get all the way to the end of the beach. That's quite a long time and it is exhausting, but you will not regret this. Not only because almost nobody goes that far, which means you won't have to share that beach there with a lot of people, but also because that view. Alright, I just arrived at the most northern point of Formentera. As you can see here behind me, there is another island. If you are lucky and the water is low enough, you can even cross it by walking. To walk here to this place, it took me more or less 45 minutes, so it's quite a walk. I think it's definitely worth it. Here you can slightly see a little bit of the sandbank. Depending on the state of the tide, it shows more or less. There are lots of boats at this part because you can also book a boat tour with a boat that will directly bring you to this beach. Guys, I'm going to try out this insanely beautiful water for you. Let's see how cold it actually is. So far I'm in it with my feet and it's not that bad, it's okay. I'm very sensitive to cold water. This here actually, it's okay. For me it's fine. It's not too cold, but this is like the coldest I can handle, I think. But it's nice. Look at these colors. It's super clean, it's super clear, and it just looks beautiful. And let's see if I can manage to dip in 100%. It was quite refreshing, yes. But who wouldn't enjoy a nice swim in water like that, right? The water is so clear and beautiful, it's actually impossible not to dive in 100%. Alright, I have to admit that the water definitely wasn't that warm, but it's okay. You can take a bath, but for now I need to warm up a little bit in the sun and dry again. And then it was time to head back to the bikes. For me, it definitely is a must to keep walking further up north. You do not have to go all the way, but do not miss out on these less crowded paradise beaches. One important recommendation, definitely bring enough water. You will need it. After another 45 minutes of walking, plus 20 minutes on the bike, we reached the harbor, where it was time for some delicious ice cream. Okay guys, I am back at the port of Formentera, which means that it's almost 5 now and therefore it's time to go back to Ibiza. I personally really recommend this island. If you go to Ibiza, do not miss out on a trip. Invest that little money and come and visit Formentera. It's a really beautiful island with amazing beaches. And I also think that it's less crowded than Ibiza itself. So yeah, for me it's definitely worth it and I highly recommend this trip if you are planning some vacation on Ibiza. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give me a thumbs up as always. Subscribe to my channel. And if you have any further questions, make sure to drop them below in the comment sections and I will answer them later. I hope to see you in the next video. A bit before 5 we were able to go back on the boat to head back to Ibiza.